There's something I would like to make clear. As we reach into certain events in this time period, in this world that we're living in, and things that we're seeing transpiring right in front of our eyes, horrific things like never heard before or never seen before in history, grandparents telling us on national TV that they're willing to give their lives to make their children live right now as they're faced with death. Well, death is knocking at our doors in living colors, in no secrecy. So there is the potential that a point is going to come where we have to decide whose side we're on. If you read the Bible and understand the Bible, God fought fire with fire when he was dealing with Pharaoh. Okay? He brought disaster on Pharaoh because he considered Pharaoh as an enemy. And he went beyond whatever he had to go beyond to bring destruction upon Pharaoh. So, whatever people might say, in the end, I still will stand with the United Kingdom and the United States in whatever action they felt they had to take necessary to deal with the fires that they're dealing with. So anyway, I'm going to play this voice message.
So this message I'm sending you is a leak. It's a leak message from the inside of the government. Please listen to this message, yeah? Team Animal Qabi.
Hashtag end of coronavirus in the month of April. Hashtag and the reasons. It is not a virus but an illusion of corona. Delusion is half the disease. What happened was a gas experiment in an American biological laboratory that was not controlled. Attach them suddenly to each other on the 4th of January 2020 in Afghanistan, signing the US cooperation agreement with the Taliban after 40 years of conflict, and the goal is President Trump's fear of exposing the truth and the court to personal goals. Italy's agreement with the United States. President Trump asked the German doctor who announced the discovery of the placebo corona treatment agreement and a for money with the rejection of the German authorities. The pressure and blackmail of the United States, the fear of European countries due to the high rate of aging in them. All you see is deceiving the world under the illusion of coronavirus. The countries where the gas spread took place a while ago without anyone knowing the secrecy of the American authorities. Modern sarin gas used as an experiment in Syria killed 1345 in 2 days. One of the most dangerous gases, it has no smell, taste or color. It turns from a gas into a liquid whose weight is heavier than air, the reason for the gas falling on the ground. It is widespread in the air over large areas of the earth. People are exposed to sarin by coming into contact with the skin, in contact with the eyes, or by shaking hands and inhaling it. This is what television ads led to declaring not touching, shaking hands, or kissing, and that there is a distance. The first casualties, in February. 67 American soldiers were injured in a laboratory in Afghanistan, which was kept secret by the United States. The soldiers were sent to China to participate in the military parade in Wuhan to expel suspicions of their death upon returning from the gas, so as not to be asked by the American authorities. A day after the military parade in Wuhan, the virus was announced by the World Health Organization and the place Wuhan. The only reason specifically for choosing Wuhan is because the 67 wounded soldiers participated in the Wuhan parade, and not eating bats and snakes in Wuhan is a reason. 10 days before the offer, the gas was discovered by a doctor in Chinese laboratories, but the Chinese authorities kept silent on the matter and isolated the doctor 7 days to death. which is the reason why the family and friends of the doctor demanded the truth of his death, because of the spread of the doctor's video on YouTube and Facebook. The truth was revealed. He forced the Chinese authorities to lie and claim the existence of a dangerous virus. The pressure of the American authorities forced China to create the lie of the virus and the world's delusion that China is the source of the virus, specifically the city of Wuhan. To cover the death of American soldiers on the pretext that they were in Wuhan and were infected with the virus. Sarin is classified as a lethal nerve gas, regardless of its concentration. Though it is small, it causes death by paralyzing the muscles of the lungs, which is why deaths are concentrated in the elderly who suffer from chronic diseases or pneumonia. The gas incubation period in the air exceeds 3 months, which is also why the United States stated that April is the last month of the epidemic. A person can stay for 2 weeks and then die, without knowing that he was exposed to that gas, and this quarantine motive is for a period of no less than 15 days without using anything except artificial breathing. This gas has no medication when inhaled, which is the real reason behind the British statement, "Prepare to die" treatment. The contaminated place should be left as soon as possible. And search for fresh air, the cause of the ventilation of the place where the injured and the quarantine. He has no medication like all gases except by the end of his stay in the air. And therefore the April 10th date is the beginning of the dissolution of that gas and the loss of its effectiveness by evaporation in the air or its fall to the ground. This gas was classified by the United Nations as a weapon of mass destruction. Countries are kept secret because of the American pressure on the World Health Organization and international organizations. Lying and controlling people's minds. Due to Trump's fear of the charges brought against him by the courts. Thus, the corona has no solution but to wait for the expiry of the term of the sarin gas converted to liquid on the ground for a period of 3 or 4 months, from January to April. In the atmosphere and its deficiency, and the deaths that are now in Italy, France and Iran due to the largest number of elders over 75 years. And they are more susceptible even if the sarin rate is 0.1% in the atmosphere. Source: The Scripps Research Center, San Diego, California, State, United States of America. The question arises, what if they lost control of their germ wars?
So that's it. Yeah, this is the one, this is the secret, and this is not a disease or anything like that, but this is a chemical attack from America government. Literally Bangla and fucked up. A big leak. So keep this and share it as much as you can. Team Manimal.